Welcome to the 5% Club with your hosts Maria Mejia and David Pataki as they dig deep into what it takes to start, grow, and take your business to new levels. They do this by demystifying common mistakes, roadblocks, and pitfalls by handing you strategies, tips, and hacks. Get your pen and paper ready because here they are.
Welcome everyone to another episode. This is your important accountant, Maria Mejia.
And I am the Panastic business coach, David Pataki. So glad to be here. And we are, a couple of days before Christmas, Maria?
Yeah, we kind of missed our normal recording scheduled time. So this is the week of Christmas. So it'll be fun. To get in the festive spirit, I am wearing a Christmas Spider-Man sweater.
Yeah, I like myself.
Sweater I have.
It's the only festive sweater. Well, that's good. You have one more festive sweater than myself.
Well, that is very interesting. My husband has a matching one, so
nice.
Together. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not able to be side by side. Schedules we're not in line today, but we're doing this over the internet here. This is going to be fantastic. Looking forward to what are we going to talk about today? Well, actually, before that, Maria, what's going on? It's Christmas time?
Yeah, it's Christmas time. We got our tree up. We got our presents under the tree. We do Christmas bags. So, we have cloth bags that we put our Christmas presents in. So those are under the tree.
Nice.
What about
like,
you?
Are they like pillowcase or are they specific?
No,
Christmas
they are
bags?
Specifically for Christmas. They're not pillowcase. We're not ghetto like that.
No.
I sewed these bags with love.
You did? Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Maybe I'll post it up on our page, our Facebook page.
I think that'd be a fantastic idea. For myself, just normal Christmas, nothing too special on my end. Just looking forward to the downtime with the kids and the family. So
that's awesome. Spend that time with the family.
Exactly. Yeah, downtime is always a good thing.
Awesome. So should we just jump right in?
Why don't Maria? I got an idea. Why don't you and I just jump right into this?
Oh my gosh, that's a brilliant idea. You know what I was thinking? Maybe we should. So previously, we talked about joint ventures and how to price things and things like that. But I kind of want to focus and hone in on the importance of having an upsell or downsell, or sometimes we call it a cross sell because we're silly like that. But first off, what is an upsell, what's a downsell, and why is it important?
That the question, yes, that question sounds on the outside looking in seems like a very simple question, but it's actually a pretty loaded question. So why don't we just start with defining them? So a downsell is something that you offer to a client that isn't, or a prospect, sorry, that is interested in, as a qualified prospect, but isn't ready to buy your regular product. So usually a downsell is either something of lower quantity, perhaps maybe even a lower quality, if that fits into the scenario, or if it's a service, it's a scaled back service. So in an upsell is an offering that you give a prospect when they're ready to buy, and that's a key thing. The upsell comes in when they're ready to buy, right? So the upsell is something that you're offering, which is the product, but it's either a better quality product or more quantity of that product, or the service, there's added services to it and so on. And the cross-sell, we'll touch on this right now, but maybe a little bit later on, we'll get into it as well. But a cross-sell, it would be a product or service that is related to what you're selling the client rate or the prospect at the moment, but isn't the upsell or the downsell. So when you think about upsell and cross-sell, the easiest thing to think about is that upsell with the McDonald's or fast food place is that you order a burger and they say, would you like to make that into a meal? So you're getting the fries and the drink along, so that's an upsell. And a cross-sell would be, would you like dessert with that hamburger? That would be a cross-sell. And I guess a downsell, if you want to go in that scenario, if they're going to go with, we use McDonald's, for example, they're looking at a Big Mac, but they're not ready to buy the Big Mac. So you can offer them the hamburger. It's it's a lesser priced product. So it's easier for the prospect to engage with you in that respect. Now, the main reason, so now that we've explained that, the main reason for the downsell, why this is so extremely important, is that you are driving leads to you, right? So that prospect has come to you and that you've given them, you've offered them something. So it's very valuable to continue a relationship with a prospect. So if they're not willing to buy the product that you're offering at the moment, if you have a downsell already set up, already figured out, and remember, it can't be, a downsell that isn't related to the product, right? You've got the Big Mac down to the hamburger, right? It's still a burger, but it's a lesser burger, right? You don't want to say, you don't want the hamburger. Well, do you want an apple pie? Those aren't related, right? But the idea of the downsell is so that you can gain them as a client. If you can earn the right to do business with them, you now have the opportunity in the future to engage in them and see if they'd be willing to buy the regular offer or even to upsell to a better product down the road. But if you can't if you aren't able to connect with them with a proper downsell, then you will lose that prospect and you may never have an opportunity to connect with them again.
True. So when it comes to downsell, should people be advertising that downsell to their prospective clients, or should that kind of be kept in your back pocket to bring out for when you do like the discovery calls and things like that?
Awesome question, Maria. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's definitely a back pocket scenario, but it isn't a make it up on the fly back pocket scenario here, right? This is something that you need to strategize. You need to sit down, whoever it is, like if it's just yourself, then obviously you should sort of talk it out with somebody else or figure out what is it that your prospects want. It's kind of funny, it always kinds of come back to the prospect, right? Who your target market is, what their pain points are, and what they want. It's funny that it keeps coming up over and over again, but the more you understand this, the more that you are able to be able to serve the pain points of your prospects, the more successful you're going to be. So when you're setting up your pricing, you go, okay, you know what? I'm selling this product. Let's go back to the landscaper again, right? So typically you're going to go, okay, well, my offering is going to be, we're going to mow the lawn, we're going to we're going to trim the weeds, or do the lawn trimming around there, and we're going to sweep up everything. And let's say we're also going to trim the bushes. So that is your standard offering. So you figure that out and you make sure you price it accordingly. Because again, we always want to be profitable. You don't want to gouge anybody, but you also don't want to be unprofitable, because then you're not going to be in business for very long. So you figure out your initial offering and then go, okay, well, if that isn't, if they're not ready for that commitment yet, what can I offer at a lower value or a lower price point that still shows the value that I can offer them? So your downsell could be, okay, well, you're doing $120 for the whole package, but you go, well, for $80, I could do the lawn and the edge trimming, right? You could take out the sweeping and the bush trimming. But if you have that in your back pocket, again, you're not scrambling. You already know the proper price point for it. So you're not just coming out, guessing, just to get the client. So it's something that needs to be planned along with the upsell. right? Like when you're pricing your products or services, you should look at, okay, so here's my middle point. You have the downsell, which you keep in your back pocket, like you said, Maria, and then you have the upsell. The upsell is something that you can advertise in the beginning. Another scenario that you could do is you could start with the upsell, and then the upsell part of it, and then the downsell can be to your regular level. But I would still have the downsell scenario, so that, because again, every time you have a prospect, you want to earn their business.
Yep. So obviously, if a prospect is coming to you, that means that they are willing to buy, and they probably have an idea of how much they're wanting to spend. So having that downsell in your back pocket, gives you that option to grab that client if they're not ready for your normal package. But at the same time, you have to be willing to do the service in your downsell and make sure that it's not too big of a loss, if at any. Obviously, with every service that you do, you want to be making a profit. So make sure that, the downsell isn't just the same as everyone else, because you still want to be unique. Like David said with the lawn mowing, it's lawn mowing plus the edge trimming. It's possible that not all the businesses do the edge trimming. So having a little extra than everyone else in your downsell still makes you unique. And or maybe that price will be, makes more sense to your prospect and things like that.
Absolutely. Like, we'll take the floors, for example. If you sell your dozen roses, your really nice long stem dozen roses for $50 for 12, and when someone comes in, they're looking at, trying to impress somebody, maybe it's a partner who made a little oops and wants to make good on that. And they walk in there and it's a $50 price point, and you go, I'm not ready for that, and if you aren't able, if you don't have that back pocket, if you don't have that offering in the back pocket of something that looks just as good or is comparable to the roses, but maybe at half the price, again, I'm not saying that you discount it 50%. Maybe there's a carnation bouquet or some other type of flower arrangement that can look just as good or almost as good as the dozen long stem roses. But if you can have that right there prepared, so when they come in and go, okay, you know what, I'm looking at the dozen roses, you go, okay, that's great. We have these wonderful bouquets here. It's $50, and then the prospect goes, ooh, that's I'm not really ready for that. If you could come back and go, well, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. I have this awesome other bouquet, with these other flowers, and I can arrange it in such a way that it, it's pretty much the same looking as the roses, and it's only $25. And then they go, oh, that's great. Boom, that downsell happens, right? And if you just do that, once a day, right, that's $125 a week. If that happens, that's $500 a month. Right, that's $3,000 a year. If it's 5 days a week, it's $3,000 a year of additional revenue if you didn't have that downsell all ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're picking up all those extra people who are still in that the buyer's journey. They're not quite ready for the big stuff that you give. They're ready for just a little taste of what you have to offer.
All right, and again, like, maybe this week they $25 is their budget, but because you help them out, a month or 2 months down the road, when there's an anniversary or a birthday party or something, they're going to think of you. So now you've gained that opportunity to do business with them again in the future, because you were able to satisfy their need at the initial time.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to we kind of talked a little bit about the products with the florists and a little bit about the service with the lawnmowers, but what about people in more in the business services type things, like the ITs, the business coaches, the accountants, those kind of professional services? How can we use an upsell to our advantage? Like, what could we what could we be thinking of in the back of our heads to be like, okay, this person is ready for an upsell, or this person is not ready for my normal, they're ready for a downsell. Like, what could be kind of like a triggering to let us know which way that we should be going?
Great question. It was kind of a multi-level question there. Well, when it comes to knowing, especially in the business services, what can be part of an upsell, it just goes back to what type of products, and I think an upsell needs to be a strategy that everyone isn't employs right off the get-go. Again, it needs to be something you identify the needs, right? Like, for example, if it's an IT person and they're going, okay, most people, they just want some virus control or firewalls and a little bit of, maybe email storage or cloud storage and so on, right? Maybe that's what most people are asking for. But is there, there's ID Protect, there's other security measures that you get in place. There is other levels of security. I'm not an IT person, but if you sit down and look at what it is that the clients want, but maybe, because a lot of times, well, here's the interesting thing, especially when it comes to business coaching and business services like that, people don't necessarily know what they need, right? They know what they want. They typically want the, I'm going to use the quote here, air quotes, if you're just listening to this on the podcast, but the sexy stuff, right? It's the stuff that the buzzword and the things that people are talking about, you get the Facebook people with their campaigns, their AdWords, or their promises that they could bring you, they could triple your leads and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is, yeah, maybe that Facebook, for example, can bring you 1,000 leads a month. But if you don't have a proper offer in place, if you don't know how to convert those 1,000 leads, if you don't have a downsell in place or a cross-sell or an upsell in place, those 1,000 leads are basically a waste of time, right? Maybe one or two, maybe you're able to increase your conversion by a couple percentages, but if you haven't figured out the proper offer, like I said, in the downsell and the upsell and the cross-sell, you're missing out on so much more revenue. And that's really what you need. In that scenario, the sexy thing is the Facebook leads. But what you actually need is, perhaps you're getting 300 leads right now, but you're only converting, 5% of those leads, right? So you don't necessarily have a lead problem, you have a conversion problem. So then we got to sit down and figure out, well, why aren't you able to convert those people? Right? Is it because the offer's not right? Does your do you even have a landing page? Does it go to a really boring, home page that doesn't offer them any value? And value, and in this case, would be information to help them along the buyer's journey, as you had mentioned earlier, Maria. So it's trying to understand what it is that they need, right? And obviously, the pain point, understanding your customers to the best, to the greatest detail as you can. As a business coach, I've spent years in business. I've gone through all this. I know I've made all these types of mistakes, but I've spent years, the past number of years learning, how to what strategies are more effective and what do I actually need to do in a business as opposed to what do I want in a business. And because I understand it that well, when the time comes and I'm meeting with a client, a prospective client, I'm able to help them understand what it is that they want. I can hear that, and typically I already know what they want, but I'm also able to deliver or offer what they need so that they can actually up their revenue. In a lot of cases, obviously there's fees when it comes to coaching, for myself and all the other coaches out there, but I can typically show you the return on that investment, and it turns out to be more of an investment. and not even a cost, because at the end of the day, I'm able to help with the revenue side of things. That increased revenue covers the coaching fees. So it's really not a cost, it's really a return on investment. But the long and short of it is you need to understand what it is that's going to help your client and have that in your in your toolkit, on your tool belt. You have to be able to understand that this client is going to typically, this client of this size is going to need this. And they might come to you and say, I just don't want to be hacked, right? Or maybe they don't even think about that, right? But like one of my clients is an IT person, and or company. We're talking about this, and the cost of being hacked or being down isn't just a few hours of someone's time, right? It's your reputation, right? You could lose clients from that. You're down. Your clients can't access you. You could be losing sales. You've got staff working on it. You've got an IT person fixing the issue. So any kind of downtime, any kind of data breach could cost you between easily $1,000 to begin with, up to $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000, depending on the size of your business. But if it affects your reputation, if you're a medical center or someone that has a lot of personal data, if that gets breached, you may actually not be able to recover from that. So as an IT support or consultant, that. So what you need to do is be able to show the need for that. Again, they may not want it, but they probably, or they do need it, whether they see the value in it. That's where the positioning comes in, being able to show the value. It's pretty long-winded, bit of a rabbit hole there. So did I answer your question there, Maria?
Yeah, for sure. Just to highlight a few points that you said there is, understand your business, know what services you can offer, but also understand the business and the need of your clients, your potential clients, your current clients, and know that, they might come to you and say, I need X, Y, Z. But since you're knowledgeable, you're a leader in your industry and you're a leader in their industry as well, that they need not only X, Y, Z, but, the first half of the alphabet, A, B, and C as well. And that being your upsell, if it's not already in your current normal package. So yeah.
Well said.
It's a good summary.
Yeah, great team. I appreciate you on the other end there, Maria.
You know it. Well, is there anything else you want to add about upsell, downsell? I kind of feel like it's a nursery rhyme: upsell, downsell, cross-sell.
Well, it's I think so. We started this by saying the importance. So just the one last, or the point to take away from all this is that you want to be successful. In order to be successful, you need to be able to convert on your leads. And one of the best strategies to be able to convert is to have a downsell, a proper downsell in place. Again, it needs to be a profitable downsell. It can't be just discounting your product, because discounting takes away 100% of your profit. So make sure it's a proper downsell, right? To continue to get to close the prospects, and then have an upsell, because typically an upsell is set up where you're bringing more value, but typically it also is a higher profit margin offering. And again, you want to make sure that you are being profitable. And then the cross-sell, we didn't really touch too much on the cross-sell. Why don't we leave the cross-sell for a different time? It's a little bit of a different animal, but so let's just say, so being profitable, making sure you understand the pricing of your main product, your initial offering, have your upsell set up and your downsell set up, usually, hopefully before you go out to market. But if you're, for all those people out there right now that are been in business for a number of years, you know what, great time of the year. Sit back, over between Christmas and New Year's and go, okay, let's revisit the pricing. What can I offer as a downsell, and what can I offer as an upsell? So that is the homework. If we should throw it out there, we haven't done this before, but all we say, if you write it down, you become part of the 5% club. But I'm going to throw out there, just take a piece of paper, and yes, old school technology here, take a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to write down what it is you're offering right now. What can you offer as a downsell, a profitable downsell? And what can you offer as an upsell, and make sure it's got lots of value, and you can have the profit margins go up accordingly.
Yep. Thank you for that wealth of knowledge, David. I've definitely learned something myself, as well as reinforced everything that you keep preaching every single day. So remember to like us, subscribe. Well, obviously, like us as people, but like us as a podcast, also on YouTube. Subscribe, follow us. I don't know. David's much better at
comment. Oh, no, you're awesome too. But anyways, just comment any questions you want us to deal with. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Something you want us to touch on in the future, please. We look forward to that. And share, and hopefully, if you haven't learned anything, hopefully you've laughed at least once.
Yep, that'll be good. So we'll see you all next time on our next podcast. Next episode. Have a good one.